Have you ever noticed how two people can walk through the exact same day, face the same circumstances, and yet one person seems to notice opportunities everywhere while the other sees nothing but obstacles? Maybe you've experienced this yourself. You hear someone mention a new business idea, and suddenly you realize there was something similar available to you all along. You meet someone casually, and later discover that conversation could have opened a door. You read something, notice a small possibility, or receive an unexpected invitation, but you dismiss it because it doesn't seem important at the time. Then you look back and think, how did I miss that? What if the problem isn't that opportunities aren't around you? What if your brain simply hasn't learned to pay attention to them yet? Most people spend their days looking for evidence that confirms what they already expect. If you expect problems, your attention naturally becomes sensitive to problems. If you expect rejection, you may notice signs of rejection faster. If you expect that money is difficult to find, your mind may become very good at collecting examples that support that belief. But what happens when you begin teaching your brain to expect opportunities? This doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect. It doesn't mean convincing yourself that money will suddenly appear or that every situation contains a hidden reward. It means training your attention to become more aware of possibilities that were already present. Think about how your attention works. You cannot consciously process everything happening around you. Every day, your mind is exposed to an enormous amount of information. Conversations, faces, sounds, advertisements, ideas, changes in your environment, expressions on people's faces, details at work, messages on your phone, and countless other signals compete for your attention. Your brain has to filter. And that filter is influenced by what you repeatedly consider important. This is one reason your expectations can affect what you notice. If you start thinking about buying a particular type of car, suddenly you seem to see that car everywhere. It isn't necessarily because hundreds of people suddenly bought one overnight. Your attention has simply become more sensitive to something that has acquired meaning for you. The same principle can be applied to opportunities. Maybe you've noticed that when you're focused on a problem, it becomes difficult to see anything else. Your thoughts become narrower, your emotions become heavier, your decisions become more defensive. But when you become curious about possibilities, your attention can begin moving in a different direction. You start asking different questions. Instead of asking, why does nothing work for me? You begin asking, what could I do differently here? Instead of, there's no opportunity. You begin asking, what am I not noticing yet? That small change may seem insignificant, but it changes the direction of your attention. And attention influences what you learn from your environment. Your brain is capable of adapting through experience. Repeatedly directing attention towards something can make you more familiar with certain patterns and more prepared to recognize them. This is part of why habits matter so much. You don't have to completely change yourself overnight. You can simply begin practicing a different way of looking. This is where the idea of manifestation can become practical. Many people describe manifestation as attracting something into your life through thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and expectations. Whether you view that as a spiritual principle or simply as a way of changing your behavior and perception, there is something useful in the practice. Your expectations influence what you look for. What you look for influences what you notice. What you notice influences the choices you make. And the choices you make can change what happens next. So perhaps the question isn't, how can I force an opportunity to appear? Maybe the better question is, how can I become better at recognizing the opportunities that are already available to me? Think about your own life for a moment. How many possibilities have you dismissed because they didn't look exactly like what you expected? Maybe an opportunity didn't arrive as a perfect job offer. Maybe it appeared as a conversation. Maybe it wasn't a financial breakthrough. Maybe it was an idea. Maybe it wasn't a large amount of money. Maybe it was a small decision that could eventually lead somewhere. Opportunities often don't announce themselves. They can look ordinary, a person you meet, a question someone asks, a skill you suddenly become curious about. a problem that needs solving, a piece of information that keeps appearing, a suggestion that initially feels inconvenient. A door doesn't always look like a door when you're standing in front of it. And this is why your brain needs practice. If you've spent years expecting scarcity, rejection, disappointment, or financial difficulty, you may have developed a strong habit of noticing those things. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means your attention has been trained by repetition, and what has been trained can be practiced differently, little by little, day after day. One small change is to stop asking yourself whether something is a big opportunity. That question can cause you to overlook smaller possibilities. Instead, begin asking, is there anything useful here? That's a much easier question for your mind to work with. Imagine you're having a conversation with someone. Instead of immediately deciding that it's just another conversation, stay curious. What could I learn from this person? What idea is being mentioned? What problem are they trying to solve? Is there something here that connects with what I'm working toward? You don't have to act on everything. You don't even have to believe every possibility will become something important. Your job is simply to notice. That distinction matters. You are not training your brain to believe that every coincidence is a sign. You're training yourself to become more attentive. And that can create a powerful shift. Because once you begin noticing more possibilities, you may also begin feeling less trapped. Your circumstances might not change immediately, but your relationship with those circumstances can change. A problem can become a question. A limitation can become something to investigate. A delay can become time to prepare. A conversation can become a source of information. A mistake can become feedback. A quiet moment can become a chance to think. This is where emotional regulation becomes important. When you're overwhelmed, your attention tends to become dominated by whatever feels most urgent. That's why the practice I'm going to give you today is deliberately simple. You don't need to spend an hour visualizing your future. You don't need to repeat dozens of affirmations. You don't need to force yourself to feel positive. For the next 24 hours, I want you to become an opportunity observer. That's it. At some quiet point today, take between 2 and 5 minutes. Sit somewhere without distractions. Take a few slow breaths. Then ask yourself one question. What opportunities might I be overlooking? Don't force an answer. Don't try to create a dramatic vision. Just let the question sit in your mind. Then think about your day. Who did you speak with? What problems did you encounter? What information did you receive? What idea crossed your mind? What did someone mention casually? What did you almost ignore? What small possibility deserves another look? You can write down whatever comes to mind, even if it seems insignificant. Maybe you notice an opportunity to learn something. Maybe you realize you should contact someone. Maybe you discover a skill you could develop. Maybe you recognize a problem that you could help solve. Maybe you simply notice that you've been automatically saying no before considering what's possible. That's enough. And tomorrow, do it again. Not because you're trying to force the universe to give you something, but because you're teaching yourself to pay attention. Over time, many people find that changing their questions changes what they notice. And when what you notice changes, your choices can change with it. This is where consistency becomes more important than intensity. One day of looking for opportunities may feel interesting. A week of doing it can make you more aware. Repeated practice can begin turning awareness into a habit. And eventually, you may find yourself asking better questions without deliberately trying. You walk into a situation, and instead of immediately thinking, "This won't work," another thought appears. What could work? You face a financial challenge, and instead of thinking, "There's nothing I can do," you ask, "What is one possibility I haven't considered?" Someone gives you an unexpected suggestion, and instead of dismissing it immediately, you become curious. That is the real practice. Not forcing positive thinking. not pretending that obstacles don't exist, not waiting for some magical event. Training your attention to remain open enough to recognize possibility. Because opportunities are often connected to perception. The same environment can feel completely different when you enter it with different expectations. And perhaps this is one of the most practical ways to work with the idea of abundance. Abundance doesn't have to begin with having more. Sometimes it begins with noticing more. More options. More information. More connections. More ideas. More choices. More ways forward. And once you start seeing possibilities, you can decide which ones are worth pursuing. That is where awareness becomes action. And action is what turns a possibility into an experience. So tonight, don't try to change your entire life. Just train your attention. Take a few quiet minutes and ask yourself, what opportunities might I be overlooking? Write down what you discover. Then tomorrow, keep your eyes open. Pay attention to the conversations, ideas, problems, invitations, questions, and possibilities that cross your path. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to believe everyone matters. Just notice. Because the goal isn't to convince your brain that everything will work out. The goal is to teach your brain that possibility deserves a place in your attention. And little by little, that can change the way you move through your day. Maybe the next opportunity isn't something you need to attract. Maybe it's something you need to recognize. If this practice gave you a different way to look at your day, subscribe to the channel and continue this journey with us. Leave a comment and complete this sentence. Today, I am open to noticing. Then come back tomorrow for the next practice. And if you want to continue working on your mindset, check the description and the pinned comment for the next step. Remember, consistency usually matters more than one powerful moment. A small practice repeated day after day can become part of the way you think, notice, and respond. So for the next 24 hours, don't search desperately for an opportunity. Simply become more aware of what is already in front of you. And tomorrow, we'll build from there.